beaming in from stunning Queensland at the time of filming, understanding that I will not be here by the time that you actually see this video. So this week's topic is keeping it real. So when it comes in particular to living lightly, and we just heard, I don't know if you heard that downstairs, somebody was having a bit of a guffaw on this gorgeous afternoon. Maybe it's celebrating around the barbecue. Anyway, I digress. So keeping it real when it comes to living lightly, as I call it, conscious living, living lightly. And what I need to fess up, that I realise, actually it was a wee while ago, I realised there was actually a gap between this idea that I had in my head that I was living consciously and practicing what to me makes total sense when it comes to things like recycling, composting, picking up litter, that kind of thing. And I spotted in my behaviour that there was some kind of gap because this wasn't always happening. I don't know if you can relate to this. And what I realised was that I felt it was a good idea, but I hadn't quite yet made that, like the next step in the process, if you like. And this dawned on me just recently what was actually going on in a book that I'm reading at the moment, again by a lady called Jen Sincero, called You Are a Badass, which I highly recommend. Anyway, she talks about our identity and our belief system, and what I realized was that I hadn't made that connection yet, that this is actually my identity, that I am this person who does this, who composts and picks up rubbish that other people haven't been able to aim for the bin and that kind of thing, you know, the stuff that mistakes we all make sometimes. And the shift has been really big in terms of that's just what I do now, that's just who I am, that's the kind of person I am. And the difference is big, not only in the impact that I can make, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, to me it's the impact that each of us can make one person at a time. It's not necessarily about me, you know, saving the planet, because we're going to do it together. And turning around our behaviour to not necessarily need to save something, but just transform the way that that history is unfurling, or that the future is unfurling. And you know, to basically embrace this concept that each of us can make that difference, and the difference it's been making, not only in the actions I'm taking when it comes to things like, you know, making that difference, is in terms of my self-confidence, the way I think about myself, the way I can trust myself to do something. So, at the end of the day, let's face it, who at the end of the day could not benefit from being more confident and doing what we're going to say we're going to do? You know, at the end of the day, it's a no-brainer. So, I look forward to hearing your insights. But in the meantime, of course, seeing you on this week's Alive with Fee. Until then, please do keep sharing your sunshine, as you can see is happening here in the Gold Coast. We're actually in Queensland, not the Gold Coast. And until this week's Alive with Fee, ciao for now.